56th one. Today is March 30th, 2025. Wild week. What did you do this week? I don't know what I did this week. What did I do? I was on Threads and I saw someone, just really awful photography discourse. And I saw someone mention Robert Mapplethorpe. And then someone replied and was like, I don't know who that is. And I feel like people need to learn history of photography. I mean, it's not even a long history. It's like literally 200 years old. You could watch a YouTube channel for a video for 3 hours and learn everything. Jeez, no wonder everything sucks so bad. Nobody knows shit. Anyway, if you don't know how it works, people, they call the number. It's in the description below, or you can record a voice memo on your phone and just email it to me. Leave a message, ask a question. It can be about anything. Usually it's about photography, but sometimes it's about my workout routine. Whatever is on your mind, do it. I'd love to hear from you. I get a lot of calls now. If I don't get to yours, no offense. I've heard it. I might even put it in down the road, but you can always call back. Try to keep it under a minute though. Sometimes people leave like 3, 4, 5-minute calls. That's cool, and I appreciate it. You're getting the shit off your fucking head. But this is a show, and we gotta keep it going. Now, lastly, before we get into the calls, we've got a couple calls today. Really good stuff, actually. We've got a Patreon. $4, $8, $20. If you do $20, I'll send you a print in the mail, plus my dad's book, limited time, signed copy. That's pretty good. You could always lower the subscription down after you do that. If you don't want to continue paying $20 a month, of course, you're welcome to if you'd like to. But even at $4 a month, I will send you a Hotline show sticker. These are going everywhere. So you want to get it. You get something. And $4 a month, that's like $1 an episode. If you do the math on that, I'm making like 20 cents. So if you want to give me 20 cents, I'll send you a postcard. I mean, think about the economics on this. It's awful. Okay, so let's get into it. We've got Neil. Let's go.
Hey, Noah, it's that Neil guy. And as part of the ongoing conversation here on what is clearly America's premier photography and mayonnaise-based video series, I just want to reply that having lived here in South Carolina for a number of years now, I have certainly witnessed the obsession with Duke's mayonnaise and have actually driven past the Duke's mayonnaise plant. But having grown up in the Midwest, I grew up on Miracle Whip, which, of course, is kind of mayonnaise with sugar in it, and much preferred Miracle Whip. Mayonnaise, just gross. But Miracle Whip, yummy. I mean, there wasn't a better sandwich growing up than Wonder Bread, Miracle Whip, iceberg lettuce, and a nice thick slice of Oscar Mayer bologna. Anyway, just wanted to throw Miracle Whip into the mix. Have you had Miracle Whip? Bye-bye.
Neil, thanks. As everyone knows, or if you're new here, if you don't know, this is the #1 YouTube channel about hating mayonnaise. We are a mayo-free zone. Hold the mayo. Why are you putting it on there in the first place? It's disgusting. Miracle Whip. Yeah, I know of Miracle Whip, obviously, you see it in stores or whatever, but I always thought of it as something that was sweet, like you put it on desserts. The idea that you would put it on a bologna sandwich. I mean, I don't eat bologna sandwiches, so, that just sounds fucking gross. Now, we're Americans and this is our culture. I was like going through the internets, like what, Miracle Whip, there's got to be some good commercials about this. And there are some really crazy commercials from the 80s and 90s about Miracle Whip. I think this one's from the 90s. I'm going to play it real fast for people who've never seen the logo. We have an international audience here. Let's go.
My name's Jack Holliday. I make a good cop, but I make an even better sandwich. I'd been tracking down Frankie Malone, and all I could think about was Polish ham on soft potato bread, layered with Miracle Whip. The jar was empty. I went for the mayo, but my gut said Bland City, so I borrowed some from Annie. Smart move. A third less fat than mayo and a tangy zip. Nothing makes a sandwich like Miracle Whip. Miracle Whip made my sandwich nice and sassy. Kinda like Annie, but that's a whole nother story.
Should we watch the to be continued clip? We're not going to do that. Yeah, I mean, they don't make them like they used to, that's for sure. Some of these commercials, it actually says Miracle Whip salad dressing. Who would do that? It's so nasty.
A sandwich isn't a sandwich without Miracle Whip. But I do something new with Miracle Whip. I cook with it. Since I love that tangy zip on a ham and cheese sandwich, now I mix Miracle Whip in my cheesy ham casserole. Then I thought, if Miracle Whip is great in chicken salad, why not baste it on baked chicken? Get cooking with Miracle Whip salad dressing. It's not just for sandwiches anymore.
What's for dessert? Call 1-800-MIRACLE for great free recipes.
Neil, thanks for calling and grossing us all out. I almost bought some just to get for a prop, but then I was like, I don't want to waste the money on Miracle Whip. I've already done enough. Next call, Marty.
Hey Noah, Marty from Alabama. First question, have you ever been to Alabama? I've actually found Alabama to be quite beautiful and inspiring at times. It reminds me of the Northeast in places, having lived there for many years. It made me think of your last episode, how we often overlook all the amazing and beautiful things out there and around us that give us inspiration. How we're conditioned in what ugly things are. The South can be included in that for obvious reasons, Duke's Mayo included for sure. So, have you been? I've grown to be attracted to the South and its beauty. My second question is related. As a photographer who travels for work, are there any lesser known or off the beaten path places you'd like to travel to photograph? Maybe somewhere you'd want to visit even if it didn't align with a commission or your rate, or as part of a personal project. A place you might be inspired by or been thinking about recently. Anyways, hope you're well, love your work and the show. Keep it up. Bye.
Marty from Alabama, thanks for calling, thanks for watching, thanks for supporting. Have I been to Alabama? Yes, I have. I've been to Mobile, Alabama. Years ago, I was on a photo shoot in New Orleans, and I typically don't like to spend time in cities. When I'm shooting in a city, I'll do the shoot in the city, and then I'll get the fuck out, and I'll just drive somewhere. So yeah, I was with my assistant at the time, and we drove out to Mobile, Alabama, and we stayed there for the night. And it was fine. I was looking through my archive. I found like one video that I made. It's just like of these two guys by the river, I think. I hope this is Mobile, but this is just a little clip. I'm a northerner. Obviously, I've been to the South a lot. My mom lives in Florida. My brother lives in Texas. I've been to, let me look at the map here. I've been to Louisiana, Georgia. Have I been to Mississippi? I've probably been through Mississippi. I don't know if I've ever been to Arkansas. I've been to Tennessee, the Carolinas. I have been to Kentucky, and I have been to West Virginia. West Virginia, it's weird to think West Virginia is the South, but it's definitely the South. It's that thing. What do they say? Like, people in the North are mean, but they're actually nice, and people in the South are nice, but they're actually mean. Kind of get that vibe. I mean, obviously it's complicated. We're all mixed up and whatnot, but I'm definitely like an avoid the South kind of person, not just because of the people they find, whatever, it always just depends, but just in terms of the climate. I'm a northerner. Like, I'm so pale when I go to places that are hot and humid, and especially like that like big sun down south, especially in the warmer months, I just feel disgusting. Like, my body just reacts negatively to the South, and just anywhere south, even Bahamas, go down, Mexico, anywhere, once we get closer to the equator, it's like I just react bad. So I'm more of a North person, which I guess leads me to the second part of your question, is like, where would I go or off the beaten path. I don't know if there's much off the beaten path anymore. I mean, I've never been to Iceland. I had to go. Want to see the Northern Lights. Like, I mean, I did see it here last year, but the real Northern Lights, like without a camera. And also the Scandinavian countries. I want to go through Norway, Finland. I'd love to do that. And then just like random parts of Canada, just like go north there, maybe like, even Alaska. So yeah, I mean, anything sort of in that upper echelon, I'm down to check out. But I don't really have like things on my list, especially these days, since I'm so like focused on like doing shit around here, that like travel plans are minimal because my projects are mostly local now. Marty, thank you so much for that call. I appreciate it. Let's do another call. Riley.
Hey, Noah, it's Riley Brennan from Michigan, and it's starting to get a little bit warmer here. It's doing that fake spring where it's a little bit of spring and then it gets cold and then it's a little bit more spring. And as the seasons change, I always like to have albums I listen to pretty regularly to kind of mark that time. And was wondering if you had anything similar, or if it's just all, Addie Goldstein ambient for you 12 months out of the year. When I was in college, my friend Rob introduced me to the Crooked Rain album by Pavement as a kind of springtime open the windows album. And I've been doing it ever since. So just wonder if you had anything like that in the deck. Thanks again. Have a great show.
Riley from Michigan, thank you so much for that call. Great question. Yeah, it is getting there. It's fake spring, but there's been those moments where you feel it, the air, the sun, the smell, it's coming. The future looks brighter. Let's get in the car real quick. What is the music that goes best with this time of year? Well, to me, there's nothing better than the Smashing Pumpkins, Siamese Dream, Cherub Rock, and then the rest of the album. But this, to me, conjures the feeling of spring. Let's get a little atmosphere in here, like the car is filled with smoke from cigarettes and joints. Okay. All right, we got the atmosphere. Whoa. Let's go. The Pumpkins, right? I love that record so much. I mean, it just brings me back. It makes me feel like there's hope or something. I mean, it sucks that Corgan has become such a douche. And I mean, any record pretty much after that I didn't really listen to. But that's the stuff right there. And if we're going to go like a little more underground, it's funny. I mean, I had friends who were big Pavement fans. My friend Clement always wore a Pavement shirt. But I was never that into like the indie slacker, what do they call this? Like slacker rock, Sonic Youth, Dinosaur Jr. They weren't really my bands, but Built to Spill was. I've already lost monetization on this, so we might as well go for a Built to Spill song right here.
Keep It Like a Secret is the new album from my next guest, who will be appearing tomorrow and Sunday at the Middle East Club in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Please welcome, oh, my old stomping ground. Please welcome all the way from Boise, Idaho, Built to Spill.
And then there's this band Hum, totally underrated. They never really got mainstream. They did have one song, Stars, that became a big hit. I found this like old like MTV Canada clip, I think, or what is this? Toronto TV. This part where they sort of went independent, cut out the label a little bit, and it's so reminiscent of what we do now. Like, things never change, or maybe it's because we were inspired by this stuff.
Well, you know, the downward is heavenward thing, I thought it was just a nice phrase because it's kind of like...
It is a great phrase.
Because just that things can go bad in your life and you can just feel like you're going just lower and lower and lower and lower, but at some point you just gotta say, well, this is where I am, you know.
Your LPs.
Oh, right.
Oh, look at this. Look at the
If you want
vinyl.
to carve open a bunch of them.
Looks like they're selling pretty good. Nice.
It used to be this high.
All right, we've sold this many then.
So here are all of our Martians go home.
Martians go home.
And the stack used to come out to here and be taller, so...
Oh, yeah. Well,
so
that's good. See,
they're doing a great job. There they are.
So the advantage here from a financial point of view, too, is that your royalty rate, being your own record company, is that...
It's about a 3 orders of magnitude better than what those other guys are giving us. So.
Yeah, sure.
No, it's good, though.
He's not making 6 cents on each one of these babies.
Man, I just love when artists talk about business. You see the hustle. You see all the boxes, the endlessness of it all. So good. Those bands from the late 90s, early 2000s will always be what I go back to. It's hard for me to find new music because I mostly just listen to like podcasts now. Like, back in the day, I wear band shirts. Now I wear like a podcast shirt. Riley, thanks for that call. We got one more.
Hey, Noah, this is Joshua. I currently live in California, but I'm actually from New Mexico. And I know you went there recently to photograph the Earthships up in Taos. I actually stayed in an Earthship for my honeymoon last year, and it was really cool. But I just wanted to ask what you thought of New Mexico. I lived there for like 23-ish years from when I was born, and I decided to come out here to LA. But I'm always curious what people think of New Mexico, because most people just drive through it. They never stop, or maybe they'll stay in a motel in Albuquerque. But I was curious, like, what'd you think of Taos? Did you go anywhere else in New Mexico, like Santa Fe or Albuquerque? And if you did, just what did you think? I'm always curious what people have to say about New Mexico. Love the show. Talk soon.
Josh from New Mexico, or California, born in New Mexico. Thanks for the call. Yeah, New Mexico. It's easily a top 5 state. I mean, it's one of the best states. I love that state. It's probably, in terms of like South, I mean, I know it's like Southwest, like that's a state I would actually move to. I love it. Love the climate. I love the landscapes. Love the people. I know a bunch of people who moved there. I've been to Albuquerque a few times, Santa Fe a few times, Taos a few times. Oh, and check this out. This video was from Albuquerque years ago. posted this in the beginning of a Hotline show a few weeks back. And then from the last time I went to New Mexico, I went to Abaque again because my friend has a cabin in the middle of nowhere. And I went and saw that. It's just unbelievable. I'll live there in a second. So yeah, amazing state, the best. That's a state I recommend people go. And the Earthship, that was incredible. That I had never even really heard of that architecture before. It was a little cabin porn project did a couple of years ago where we went to like shoot it and then like give away a stay at a cabin. And just the idea of like passive house that exists in nature and it's really developed for the site that it exists on just like blew me away. When I was there, I was like enamored by this thing. Like I wanted to build my own. I wanted to buy one there. I wanted to move that, see if I could figure it out. Obviously I got home and I was like, I'll never do that. But in the moment, I was like obsessed with it. In fact, the guy, Trent, who Earthship we stayed at, we did a little video together where I just like followed him around and he told me all about the Earthship. So I'm going to play that on our way out here today. So if everyone wants to stick around for another like 10 minutes, watch this Earthship video, see what it's all about, learn about this really cool and fascinating architecture, home design. And maybe you'll want to go and visit. You could Airbnb this one or, I don't know, build your own. You'll never do it. But maybe you'll get inspired by some of the techniques. So yeah, we'll play that out in a second. That's the show. Thank you, everyone, for coming, for making it this long. Do the stuff, like, subscribe, call the number. It's in the description below. I'd love to also see you in the Patreon. Just a couple bucks. Get a sticker. We'll see you next week. Maybe. Just a really quick background about the video you're about to watch. I did this whole project on my phone. I shot all the videos with my phone vertically. Did it because it was going to be an Instagram thing. I didn't want to shoot my real cameras. I don't know why I did this, but that's what I did. So all the footage I have is vertical, but I'm cropping it and sort of letterboxing it a little bit. I did the best I could, but that's why it looks like this. It's like sort of low res, but I'm an idiot. And that's how I shot this amazing place. I hope you enjoy. Let me know what you think. Talk to you later. Maybe.
Hi. Welcome to Taos, New Mexico. This is our Earthship, which is a passively oriented in space and time home that heats and cools itself with the natural cycles of the sun and the wind, and we get all of our water from the sky and our power from the sun. I'm going to give you a couple of quick tours about what makes this thing tick, about what makes it comfortable and what makes it cool. So we're out here on the roof, which is where a lot of the magic happens, or at least starts in an Earthship. We have 6 solar panels out here. They're 300-watt panels. Nothing special, nothing super modern, but they provide all the electricity we need inside to charge our laptops, get our Wi-Fi going, watch TV, play records. And we also have another really important part of the systems here in the Earthship. That's our metal roof. This is a pro panel standing seam roof. You can see it's facing towards the south. All of the water and snow that come here come down into this channel. This channel is banked to both sides of the Earthship, so it goes east and it goes west. We're gonna walk right now towards the east side of the Earthship, and I'll show you what happens to all that water when it comes off the roof from the sky. You'll see over here we have two screw tops. Those are 2 of 4 massive cisterns. We have a combined capacity of 6,000 gallons of water, 1,500 gallons each. The water comes off the metal roof over here, comes through this gravel pre-filtration unit, and actually comes right here through this elaborate series of chicken wire meshes, keeping out any rodents and big pieces of debris. And it enters these 2 cisterns. They're chained to other cisterns on the other side of the Earthship. So the water comes out of the sky, gets pre-filtered, and enters these cisterns. When we go inside in a minute, we'll be able to see how we take that water, which obviously has some dirt and dust debris, and we filter it to make it potable and showerable. While we're up here on the roof, we're going to talk a little bit about the battery system. So we don't have lithium-ion batteries like would happen in an electronic vehicle. Well, they're all electronic, an electric vehicle. But we do have these massive old school 500-pound Rolls batteries. They're old and you have to fill them with distilled water, but they work really well. These have been in service for about 12 years, operating continuously. You can see they're massive, and what we got to do here is fill these up with distilled water. That's sort of the lifeblood of these batteries. As long as you do that, we have plenty of juice day and night to operate things off the grid out here in Taos. You can see we have this small satellite dish. That's the closest portion of the Earthship to being on grid. That's our internet. It's really good Wi-Fi. We're gonna take a break, go inside, and learn a little bit more about how these systems manifest inside the Earthship. We're gonna check out the heart and the lungs of the Earthship. That's our water organizing module and our power organizing module, which is more fun than it sounds, kind of. When you walk in, you'll notice that it's kind of like a tropical rainforest in here. It's humid and it's hot. We'll talk more about that a little bit later. For now, I want to show you how the water and the power come from outside of the house to our mouths, to our outlets, and to everything else that runs the Earthship. So in here, this is the water organizing module, or the WOM, as Earthship nerds call it. You'll see here 2 valves. They come from our cisterns on the west side and the east side. You just saw the east side cisterns a minute ago. The water comes in from those 2 systems and gets to a loose mesh filter stage here. Then we have a pressure tank in another closet that helps to pressurize the system, so when you turn on the tap, it doesn't just do a little trickle, it does what we're used to in a big on-grid system. We then filter through 2 more times before it hits the sink, faucet, and the shower head. We also have an extra stage of filtration with these ceramic candles in here. That filtration goes and supplies all of our drinking water faucets. So all of the 6,000 gallons get slowly released through this system where they become potable and usable for all of us inside the house. We'll talk in a minute about gray water, which is something that we use after we've used water once. But first, we'll talk a little bit about the power organizing module, or the POM. All of that solar power goes directly into the batteries upstairs. The batteries then come down here into our DC and AC circuit breakers. DC is a little more efficient because you can come directly off the batteries. So we have appliances in the house like the lights and the refrigerator that run off DC power. The more appliances and fixtures we can have running on DC, the more efficient we can be. But of course we have some AC stuff as well. That's what you're used to in a standard 120 outlet. So we have our outlets that are outlets you're more used to in your home, and bulb sockets you're more used to in your standard on-grid home, serviced by this panel as well. So you can go as far as you want to nerd out on our inverter and charge controller, but in a nutshell, this is where all the power comes in from the sky and then routes to our access points inside the house. So one of the cool things about an Earthship is that we are out here on the Taos Mesa where it doesn't rain very much, so we try to reuse the water that we use in the house as many times as possible before we flush it out to a black water planter where it's used again. So in the shower, this is our primary provider of gray water. It's also our primary water suck in general, as you could imagine. So we limit our showers to 5 minutes at the very maximum. You can get a lot done in 5 minutes, it turns out. This shower sits a little bit higher grade than most things in the house. You'll notice there's 2 steps to get up here. That's on purpose. All of the water that comes into the shower gets fed out to our gray water system. So we'll go outside to the kitchen to show you how the gray water comes from being what is essentially waste shower water into feeding all of the planters inside the house and in the greenhouse to make everything work together. So this gray water system brings the wastewater out from the shower into a holding tank, which is down over on that side of the planter. That holding tank has a little bit of a filtration system in it that then goes and feeds all of our planters, outside and inside. The gray water is nice for the plants because we don't use any harsh chemicals in the bathroom or the kitchen that would make the water harmful for plants. You can see there is a series of water tubes that we can attain the level of the gray water by looking at the inside of it. There's also a gray water filter and pump that helps us get the water a little bit more prepared to be used for the plants. Once all of the plants have had a chance to use the water and the water flows underneath the bottom of all of these planters, the last time the gray water is used after the plants have had their way with it is it goes into the toilet tank. So think of the wastewater from the shower as being used once by the plants and then again to fill up the toilet tank to flush your toilet. And once it's flushed by the toilet, that gray water becomes black water. Black water is pumped outside the house to a septic tank that goes out to a leach field that can then help to be a fertilizing factor for outside plants. And believe it or not, you can grow trees out there that are fruit bearing that have less E. coli in them than fruit that you'd buy at the grocery store. So that's our water systems and our power systems inside the Earthship. So it's 60 degrees outside, which is actually not that bad. But the coolest thing about an Earthship is that it's built in space and with a thermal mass built into it that allows it to be a really consistent 70 degrees inside. So we're going to learn a little bit more about how an Earthship does that. The first and most important thing that you may have heard about Earthships, and you can see right here, is that they're built out of trash. That is not totally true. There's a lot of really wonderful, new-ish materials inside, but the foundation is really tires. So the retaining walls inside are built out of tires that are literally full of sledgehammer dirt. They turn into a giant brick, which retains heat and cool and makes the inside of the Earthship pretty much the stable temperature of the earth around it. There's a lot more earth thrown on top of the north side of the Earthship here. This is what we call the Earth berm. Every Earthship has an Earth berm on the north side that helps encapsulate the inside of the house as sort of a really thick, really warm blanket. So we get that constancy of the temperature of the Earth inside. The Earth is sometimes a little cooler than you want to be inside. So if you think of the north side of the Earthship as sort of the coolant of the house, and we'll get into some more coolants inside via passive convection. This greenhouse, which is always on the south side of an Earthship, where the sun comes most effectively, is the heating element. So we walk inside here, and the first thing we notice is that it's like a goddamn rainforest in here. Humidity is really high. It's probably about 85 degrees in here, and it's that way all year round. The glass faces south because the sun moves from east to west in a plane, because we're in the northern hemisphere, where the sun hits this side of the house most consistently throughout most times of the year. So what happens in here is the sun comes in through the windows and it bakes these flagstones all day long. It gets really hot in here. Sometimes it gets upwards of 100 degrees in here, even in the middle of the winter. That's why the plants in here tend to be more on the tropical desert side, sort of more of a rainforest atmosphere. We have some jade plants over there that love it, and we have some aloe over here that loves it. We can also do banana trees, we can do figs, we can do strawberries, blueberries, a wide variety of plants like it in here because it is so hot and humid and consistent throughout the year. So it's hot in here. That means when it's cool inside, we can open these windows that are all operable and doors to let the hot air from the passively heated greenhouse into the cool inside Earth-shaped house inside. If it gets too hot in here, we can use the power of convection, another passive natural force. As most of us know, hot air rises. So when we open up these skylights, hot air is sucked out. We have these outside and we have them inside. It's a pretty simple nautical winch system that we use with some counterweights up top, so it comes up and down really nice and easy. Of course, a really simple way to get it cooler in here is also to just open these windows. It's a nice cool breeze. If I open both that and the skylight, it gets really cool in here really fast. We're gonna go inside really quick to just get a little bit of a feeling for what it's like to be inside of an Earthship. After coming in the house from this 85-degree, really high relative humidity point, we're gonna see what it's like to transition into a really stable temperature inside. You'll notice there are two doors here, so the greenhouse is also an airlock, sort of Star Trek style. It keeps the outside atmosphere really far outside. Unlike a normal house that has one door and you're sort of exposing yourself to the elements, the greenhouse serves as sort of a blanket of heat to keep everything inside as hot as you want it inside. So in here, it's perfect. It's around 70 degrees. The humidity is completely stable, around 50% or less. And we're able to, again, open up these skylights inside the house to do the same thing that we did outside the house. It's not as quick as a forced air conditioner, but within a few minutes, we'll notice that the entire temperature of the inside of the house has gone down. At the end of the night, when the sun goes down, we rely on all the thermal mass that's built into these walls and the earth that we're buried under to keep us nice and stable. If it's still hot outside in the greenhouse, that residual heat from the flagstones, we can open up those windows again to make it a little bit warmer inside the house. So an entire system like this that's passively oriented in space, which a lot of houses and homes in big cities aren't, is a big contributing factor to why we are able to heat this house, cool this house with no fossil fuels or even any renewable fuels. And that's why a passive home is such a fun and cheap way to heat and cool your house.